Can you hear me now? Some days are just like that. Howdy and welcome. Now that you can hear me, I should probably start over again. Oi. So, I was just talking about some of the materials that the Glowforge Aura can cut. And have these handy dandy slides. Hang on. Talking about hacks for your Aura or your Spark. Yay. So, your Aura or your Spark can actually do a pretty terrific job cutting paper, fabric, felt, leather, and non-PVC vinyl. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. All right. Yay. All right. Figuring it out. We will get there. I know it's new and awkward, and I apologize for that, but it's still fun. So, paper, fabric, felt, leather, non-PVC vinyl. It's important that it is non-PVC vinyl because PVC, when you cut it with the laser, the gases that it off gases will literally destroy the laser. So, make sure if you're going to try vinyl that it's non-PVC vinyl. Very important. Now, to hold down the material, because a lot of times when you put things in there and you start cutting, it'll either blow around or sometimes it'll try to curl up or shift or move or whatever. And sometimes people use magnets to hold things down, and we've done that very successfully. Sometimes people use pins. It pushes down through the honeycomb and holds things down. Does a pretty good job. But for some things, we've discovered that we can use a diode's weakness as a strength. Glass can actually do a terrific job of keeping your material from blowing around while it's being cut, can help keep it from curling up as you cut. However, there are a couple of catches and caveats that you should know. First, the glass may become marked, so don't use glass that's special to you. Don't go raid, one of your favorite picture frames, one of your best picture frame glass. But instead, go to the Dollar Tree and buy some inexpensive glass. Because when I say it can mark it, I mean it could really mark. Getting a lot of reflection there. Aha. So I don't know if you can see it very well, but this outline, it actually literally etched that into the glass. I found myself wondering if maybe you could use this to use a diode laser to actually engrave, but I don't feel comfortable saying that, yeah, that's a great idea because it's very inconsistent. But when we tried to cut leather, the smoke basically smoked the glass and the cut was incomplete because the glass was smoked up and the laser couldn't finish the cut all the way through. So leather actually did it better without glass covering it. Leather did better with either a magnet or a pin holding it down. But fabric, we cut this this cute little peep shape and this fuzzy fabric and held it down with glass, and it actually did a pretty terrific job. And of course, be careful with the edges. You don't want to get cut. The Aura or the Spark will both cut fabric like butter and without having to use or ruin a sticky mat. I didn't realize how much I did not enjoy sticky mats until we started cutting fabric and or paper with the laser. It does a pretty terrific job. And just so you know, we did cut leather quite successfully. Made these cute little keychains, but they definitely did a better job cutting. Did I keep it up? I don't know where I put it. I was just going to show you all of the attempts that we made to cut through the leather before we finally got the settings right and without the glass. it just made it look really scorchy, smoky outlined and didn't quite cut all the way through. So once we figured out that the glass was actually causing a problem, we were good. But it actually, the Aura does a really terrific job cutting paper. Does a terrific job. Sorry, I just lost my train of thought. Does a terrific job cutting paper, does a terrific job cutting fabric, especially. And then it also does a really good job cutting other materials such as the non-PVC vinyl and the leather. So we can try it. I'm going to take a piece of fabric that I had all laid out here. Ta-da! Piece of glass. Go put them in the laser. All right. So for the fur, we used a speed of 33, a power of 6, and only one pass. Hop over to the Glowforge app and move my design, set focus. And tell it we're ready to print. It's preparing. And it is almost ready. It is verifying the alignment. Should be ready here in just a second, and we'll start it cutting. Fortunately, it actually cuts reasonably quickly, so it doesn't take very, very long. Just about 2 minutes to cut through, to cut this out. Hang on a second while I start it. I don't know why I didn't think to share the Glowforge screen with you. Oops. And you can see the cut, hopefully on George the Slowforge. Maybe make it a little more, let's give it the full screen for a minute. You can see where it's already, the glass was already etched from some of our earlier trials. But thank you. We actually have a lot of fun doing it. I apologize that this one is so stop and start, so awkward maybe. But it's definitely our pleasure. And we are very nearly done. Let's see if I can find my cursor and pop this back over. About 17, 16, 15 seconds left. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. All right. I'm going to hop over there. Well, actually, I'm going to give it a second for the smell to evacuate. Fortunately, cutting fabric doesn't really smell too bad. Oh, sorry, wrong one. All right. So, come on over here and I'm going to grab the glass. You can see it mark the glass just a little bit more. Actually, maybe you can't quite see. See the little scorch marks here. But pops right out. We have a cute little fuzzy bunny. So this can be used to do applique. Sorry. What's the worst smell to come out of there? Possibly acrylic. It's pretty bad. Cutting leather, though, actually is also fairly unpleasant. Somewhere maybe between like burnt hair and sitting in the dentist chair. That was fairly unpleasant, but I feel like the acrylic is a stronger smell. But I think the leather might be a more unpleasant smell. Anybody else? What's the worst smell that's come out of your laser? That was the question I was answering, by the way. I keep forgetting that for whatever reason, when a comment pops up, it doesn't automatically go to the screen anymore. So yeah, definitely, I think either acrylic or leather, and probably acrylic. Stop sharing that. Let's jump, oops. Jump back here. Hide that. Move on to the next slide. So these cute little bunnies that we cut, we actually use them we applique them onto a pillow. And there's a sample of the pillow. And Janet was going to talk about how to use Silhouette Studio to actually set this up and actually do the applique. Unfortunately, I have not learned Silhouette, so I can't really readily speak to it. So I'm going to pass by. So moving on to cutting vinyl. Again, I mentioned make sure you choose laser safe vinyl and HTV. And there are two good vinyl or HTV options. They are the Glowforge proof grade material and Siser. HTV vinyl gives a suede-like feel, excellent for retro. I haven't used the flocking. Janet actually usually does the vinyl cutting. I will occasionally help weed, but she is definitely the expert. Siser has the go-to heat transfer materials for your laser cutter right there from Siser's site. Also leather, paper, and cardstock. Paper and cardstock you can actually carefully engrave or cut. Let me show this one instead as a laser. So the flocking may or may, the Stripflock, the piece that I held up, I just got a message from Janet that said that's the one that she didn't check. So my apologies for grabbing the one she didn't check. There are several other for me to grab. And of course, Just a couple of possibilities, and then other colors. And there are many, many, many more colors that I happen to not have right here in front of me. Leather, I mentioned cutting. Paper and cardstock. We have had, I'm looking around for my samples that I think I already put away in spite of the fact that I knew I was going to need them. Will it cut glitter paper? I haven't actually tested on glitter paper, but I really, really don't see any reason why it wouldn't, because it's still paper. I really don't think that the glitter would interfere with the cut. But I haven't actually tried it, so I cannot say for 100% sure that it will. Glitter cardstock, glitter paper, I would count them the same thing, just a different thickness. And again, I would certainly expect that it would, but having not tested it, I can't say for absolute certainty. May want to experiment with settings a little bit when you try it. I had something else I was going to say. What was it? Lost my train of thought. It derailed again. Goodness. So I guess we were going to try some samples of leather or paper or cardstock, but I hate to say it, but I put all of the demo stuff away. Not sure what I was thinking, but I put the demo stuff away before I realized it. Sorry. I miss Janet. I really need her to come do these lives with me. I apologize for all of the awkwardness here in this live, but I feel like I've run out of things that I am prepared to say. I apologize for not having other samples ready for me to do. But I didn't put them over there, did I? We were going to try some felt. Oh yeah, flowers. I do have something else I'd like to try. So let me put the George back on. And I'm going to use this nice purple felt material. Got my bunny, and I got my bunny outline. Fun. Janet had found these cute little felt flowers. And oh, I see what happened. Unfortunately, I can't share the app screen and this at the same time. Maybe I can. All right, so hopping back into the Glowforge app and felt flowers for Aura. Got my 3 sample flowers. And checking my notes for the settings we used on the felt. You know what? We used the same settings as thin proof grade leather. So I'm going to select thin natural leather. It will apply the settings, and it shows speed of 33, power of 10, 1 pass. I'm going to make these flowers a little bit bigger. So all right. Now, once again, I'm going to focus in. Set focus. This is our first live of the spring, so that's pretty exciting. Don't know what your weather's like, but today it's a very dreary, rainy spring day. Thank you. You're very kind. All right. Jump back over, hit print. Give it a few seconds while it thinks about how long it's going to take and where it's going to cut. And I had never seen these roll-up felt flowers before, but they look kind of fun. Looking to see, of course, I watched Janet do them, so I'm looking to see how well they turn out when I try it. Should, it's almost 7 minutes. But let me get this thing going. And really, 7 minutes isn't too bad. Mild and sunny in California. Nice. Yesterday was actually pretty warm. Sun was out off and on. It's actually a pretty nice day. Definitely glad that more daylight hours are happening. I was going to say the days are getting longer, but that just sounds like I'm wishing for longer days instead of more daylight. All right, got them cutting. Let's watch the Glowforge roll. I always thought it would be easy to find things to say while I watch the laser roll, because I don't know, I often find it easy to just talk. but I find myself wondering what I should talk about or what I should say. And it turns out it's not quite as easy as I had expected it to be. That was a quick move. This thing definitely is faster since they did the speed update before releasing the Spark. It is definitely faster than it used to be. Performance on my Glowforge Aura is better than it was. That is for sure. Any pets? My middle son has a blue. He has a dog. His name is Handsome Dan. And yeah, the puppy is spoiled rotten. But he's a great dog. And so, what hobbies is everyone engaged in before they discovered lasering? Just out of curiosity. I like to do music. I play the guitar a little bit. I don't play that well, but I enjoy it a lot. The last couple of years, everything. Sewing, crocheting, cricketing, pottery. So when you say pottery, is that taking a lump of clay and making something out of it? Or is that taking something that's already made and coloring and firing it? And what kind of sewing do you do? That's just cruising along, isn't it? Awesome. And you love making quilts. I mostly make pillows. I did the lump of clay and make something thing for a while, and I really enjoyed it. But not having a wheel at home, not having a kiln at home, I don't know. That one felt like one to give up. But I did enjoy it while I was doing it. Never tried crocheting. Janet's done the cricket thing. Never tried quilting either. That's something that Janet and I have talked about doing, and she actually started working on quilting, but just finding the time to keep up on it has been challenging. And it looks like it is very nearly done. Trying to figure out, let's see. Just a few seconds left. Jumping back and forth, trying to figure this out. I don't know about you, but I always find it quite satisfying just to watch the laser go. That is a good question. Do you need the Glowforge subscription for the Aura to cut faster, or was that an all-around update? My understanding is that is an all-around update where they literally increase the speed of the Glowforge Aura, not just the premium subscription. I'm not sure why they didn't include that speed update when they first released the Aura, but I'm at least grateful that they've done it now. And let's go take a look. Yeah, okay, that's the right thing. So I don't know how well you can see it on the screen there. Let's see if I did that to show. No, that doesn't help. That doesn't help either. All right, I can't quite see it on the screen, but on the glass, I can actually see the patterns where it cut the felt. Kind of interesting. One, and two, three. Just leave that there for now. Tidy up in a minute. All right. I am looking for, stop sharing that. And I'm going to come back. Start sharing that. And my understanding is you start on the outside. Just begin rolling it up. Trying to keep the bottom somewhat lined up. So you can see I'm starting to creep up already. Trying to keep this where you can see it. Janet has this cool little desktop camera that basically points down, but I was not able to download the software for it in time. So almost there. Okay, so here on the bottom, this little round piece, I'm supposed to put a little hot glue on it. and glue it up like so. Boy, flower's all squishy. Oh, it came unrolled. I didn't keep the bottom edge lined up well enough. Or maybe when I pulled my tweezers out, I pulled it loose. I'm not sure. But this is such a neat idea. This could be a great, fun family craft. Ha! Well, welcome. Glad you're here. And the hidden strength is glass. Because the Glowforge Aura cannot cut or etch or engrave on the glass, you can actually use glass to hold down fabric or paper when you go to cut it or engrave it. And it actually does a pretty terrific job. I did mention those brown marks. That's what happens if you use glass to hold down leather when you cut it. But all of those other much more faint marks are from holding down fabric or paper. And it actually does a pretty terrific job keeping things from blowing or moving around when you're trying to get a good cut. And I had just cut out these felt flowers. Obviously, I don't have glue, so I'm squeezing it a little bit to try to hold it together, but they're very cute. And again, this little piece on the end here, you just put a little glue on it and press it down, and it holds the whole bottom together, holds everything in so that it doesn't unroll like it's trying to do now. And actually, they're cute little flowers. So we cut out 3 of these in different colors, and just, I don't know where Janet found the pattern for them, but they're really cute. So once you cut them up, you just line up the bottom edge and keep rolling. Apparently you can do these with paper also, and they're fairly popular, so I understand. I never had an appreciation for flowers until I had daughters. But you can see it winding up. These would make cute little embellishments for other things that maybe you sew, or for 3D things that you make. I don't know how well it would hold up as say an embellishment on a jacket or something. Ta-da! And of course, I didn't bring any glue. But does anyone have any questions that I haven't answered yet? Sorry, once again, I'm trying to. They are very quickly becoming fabric. For small things, it's actually brilliant. Does a really, really terrific job. We also have some heavy craft cardstock that we use to display things on, like earrings and such. And it actually does a really, really terrific job of both cutting and engraving on that. And then we use those to hang earrings. This is, so we've cleared all that stuff out of here. I don't have any. Up until very recently, I had some on hand. I could just pull one out and show you. But this felt, it cut so beautifully. I don't know if you saw me pull it apart, but it came apart so easily. And there's the third. Have I engraved acrylic with it? We did some tests where we did some engraving, but we were actually specifically testing materials that there were some questions as to whether it would work, and it didn't. How does it do on leather? Fabulous. Did a really terrific job. We actually, so these are keychains. We want to actually cut some a little bit smaller and make earrings, make small leather earrings. Although you might have to mess around a little bit with the settings because we're not using proof grade leather, and so the thickness changes. But you can see some of our testing. It's like this one didn't cut out all the way, and these didn't even come close. And all that discoloring around it is what happened when I covered it with glass and tried to cut it. So these clean cuts, these beautiful cuts down here that we made these keychains from, actually not covered with glass. And after some testing on the settings, yeah, it actually really it worked very well. Doesn't smell so good at first though. The smell dissipates pretty quickly, but it smells pretty bad when you first open it up. And then there's the third flower. Very cute. I'm kind of impressed with these flowers. They look really nice. They'll look better when I can glue them together, but they look nice. Any other questions before we go? Because I have run out of things to share for now. Can it cut faux leather? It depends on the faux leather. I have read a couple of different places that some faux leather actually has PVC in it and some does not. Can it cut burlap? Why? Yes, as a matter of fact, it can. And this is a pretty loose weave burlap, but it cut it so very easily that I'm sure it can easily cut much thicker or more tightly woven burlap than this. But yeah, it did a terrific job. I don't know how well you can see the edge. Try to get the focus in there. But yeah, it did a really nice job. Can it cut cotton? Yes, it can. Although I don't think I have any samples of cut cotton. But yes, it definitely can. my understanding is as long as it's a thick fabric, it can engrave on it as well. I haven't actually done any yet, but I've heard of lots of people trying out different projects with denim, which is basically a thick cotton. So I haven't tried any yet, but I'm looking forward to doing it. Anything else before we go? All right. I apologize for all the dead air. As I said before, I thought it would be easy to figure out things to say, but it's surprisingly difficult. You are absolutely welcome. And my thanks for bearing with me. I feel like that was a fairly awkward live. It's my first solo live, so maybe a little extra awkward. But I appreciate you hanging in there and sticking with me. And once again, thanks for joining me, and I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. Take care.